be the voice of Alabama politics. Jack David Lutter, who represents an environmental group, GASP. Well, I mean, you know.
I know.
I don't know what that stands for, but something.
It stands for something.
Yeah, of course. He has requested all the records where Luther Strange, as Attorney General, was involved with resisting the 35th Avenue Superfund. He fought back against it. He put several letters out there to the EPA, along with Billy Canary, who wrote, Business Council of Alabama wrote several op-eds, or at least one we know of. So he wants all the records, and there might be something there.
We don't know what's there, but didn't Luther send a letter?
Yeah,
two letters, basically saying there wasn't anything to it and all that. Yeah. Well, if there's any more info on that, and this guy going through the open records law, I think we might find out more than we want to know.
Yeah, he was kind of like the Wizard of Oz. There's nothing to see here. There's nothing to see here.
Right.
Well, Susan, doesn't it strike you as odd that, I mean, and in some ways the kind of way it was handled? There's right now the Attorney General for the Northern District, Dre Town, is saying no one else was involved in this EPA thing. No, nobody but these four guys, two Bosch lawyers and one coal industry lawyer, and one representative. That everybody else didn't know.
Well, then he's the only one in the state that believes that. Money was all over the place. It was there were checks that didn't have names on them, basically cash. You know, you don't endorse a check, it's cash, okay? Just like the bearer bond. I mean, four people orchestrated all of that, all the way up to the Attorney General's office, who, by the way, is supposed to be protecting the people that were getting poisoned.
Josh, I mean, we've seen some conspiracies around, but there's generally not four stooges that can get together without it leaking out. They've got to have somebody helping them coordinate.
You know, all right. At Balch alone, this was brought up, you know, that they were issuing checks out to the Oliver Robinson Foundation, and they were removing, in the accounting office, they were removing Oliver Robinson's name from the checks. You think Sally in accounting was just doing that on her own? You know, I mean, stop it, you know, get out of here with that nonsense. And so,
and of course, her supervisor knew nothing about it.
No, nobody. It's just those two guys. That's all. They were the only ones.
I mean, all those partners up there at Bosch, some pretty smart lawyers going, $500,000 here, $500,000 there. Jack, they don't miss it,
yeah,
right?
when they make all their young lawyers punch time clocks. Yeah, I mean, come on. You know, you got to bring in X dollars this month if you want to pay. I mean, they knew all that stuff.
Of course they did. Of
this
course
is
they
asinine
did.
that.
I mean, who are you fooling?
If they were that
really
dumb, I wouldn't want to be one of their clients.
And who the hell is Jay Town anyway? I never heard of him in my life.
Oh,
is he a Trump guy?
He was a Sessions guy.
He was Sessions.
Okay.
He's from up north.
He come running in here of late, and you know the GASP records. You know they're after a lot of the emails back and forth, and we know from the sources that we have here that there were a couple of different meetings between Luther Strange and attorneys with the coal industry and some executives with Balch and Bingham. And so we know that those things took place at the office, and that at the same time he was chasing out his chief of staff at the time to hold those meetings.
And don't forget, you also found the money around those meetings.
Yeah, and you know, and so he received checks from, well, I say his campaign received checks from Drummond Coal, about $25,000 a pop. There, you know, 3 of them, and 2 of them came directly, you know, in the same time frame, a few days apart from him issuing letters out and inserting himself into this that nobody asked him to become involved in.
Right, and when you go stay at the St. Regis in San Francisco, you're going to need a few extra dollars, you know? I mean, hey.
Well, he went alone, though.
I mean, I know, but, you know, when you go to the America's Cup and places like that as Attorney General, this is all part of the job.